Welcome to another episode of the Serpent Temple podcast and YouTube channel. I'm here with T.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hello. We're going to do an interview and a Psycard reading. Why don't you introduce yourself to our lovely listeners?
Hey everyone, I'm T. I play drums currently for sale, and like various projects that need drummers. And I wrote a book which came out last year about death metal.
Yes, yeah. I'm very excited about this book, and I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you all about it.
Yes, please do. While and/or before and/or after, maybe perhaps all of those things, why don't we lay down the Psycards? Okay. I will tell you where to put the cards and what they mean.
Oh, so, do I pick from the deck?
You do.
Cool.
You've got
That's fun.
It has to be you that handles the cards.
So I do it one at a time?
One at a time, so you put one here.
Okay.
That's going to be your past.
Turn it over?
Not yet.
Okay.
One here, that's going to be your present.
Okay.
One here, that's going to be your future.
Okay.
And then this one here is going to be your past sort of motivation, so what drives you forward. And this one here is going to be your future goals, like what you go towards.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Do you want to turn over your past card?
Okay. What's my past?
What is your past?
The sun.
Oh, that's nice. I'll read the sun to you.
Okay, cool.
Not the newspaper.
Not the newspaper.
No, we threw that card away. The sun stands high over the harvest field with wheat sheaves, ripe corn and cornflowers. Children skip around a maypole in a celebration of fertility of the land. The sun stands for power, energy, and creative forces behind the universe, a male sign. It symbolizes confidence and success and a benign influence on all around it. It represents the conscious power of the intellect.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so I do a little bit of tarot, and one of the things with tarot is you sort of, there's always like some of the descriptions have like a bit of a sting at the end.
Yeah.
So they're never like.
So it's like you're a failure.
It was always like the sort of balance between like this is mostly good, but like confidence can be arrogance, that kind of thing.
There is a bit of that in this as well, but most of it's pretty positive.
I did one my old work. I did one for like like head of accounts. We were just like me and a mate were into tarot. We did it in like a room that was booked for a meeting by accident, and we just did one for him. And he was sort of doing it for a laugh. I was like, Mark, that's the best reading you could possibly get. It was like riches, wealth, happiness, like absolutely faultless. Like there was nothing bad here at all.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I hope that came through for him, and like maybe he'll like one day in his like big gilded palace he'll be like, oh no, the cards were right.
Or they were all inverted and he didn't realise.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's fine, I'm sure.
But that's nice. That's a nice, like creative people want to hear that feedback, I think.
Yeah, it's a good card for a creative, for sure.
I've just come from a bunch of like last year with all the bookwork and everything. It's nice to hear that. Thank you, cards.
Yeah. Writing a book is a task. It is gargantuan. I remember reading a quote about how everyone's got a book in them, but it takes a particular kind of person to like actually go the distance and make that book come out of them. Yeah. It must have been really difficult to write. Or was it? Maybe it wasn't.
I mean, like bits of it are. There's a lot of like, I don't want to say drudgery, but like there's a lot of like, especially like non-fiction. There's a lot of like research involved, where like a lot of like for interviews as well, like transcribing and stuff like that, and then like. There's a lot of days when you wake up and you're like, my God, I just can't bring this is really interesting, but I can't bring myself to like, my brain just won't do this today. I found like, and like you have that sort of like anxious energy, but like it sort of runs out up to a point and you're like, okay, I need to like keep doing this. What was really helpful is like, that was, I mean like, I can't complain because it was an amazing experience, but also like, it really worked for me because it was like commissioned by someone who had a deadline set for me, and if it had just been something I was writing on my own, it's like 90 years time. How's that going? It'd be like chapter 1.5 maybe.
Yeah.
George R.R. Martin-esque.
Yeah. I do really feel for that guy. Like,
so much pressure on that guy.
Yeah.
He keeps writing other books.
All authors are writing like 6 books at the same time, like because it just feels right to go and do something else. Because like there's sort of you get into like it's almost like the dopamine release of like I really like doing first drafts because it's just like you just like spill like ideas out and like you just be like whatever nonsense, but you're working towards like you're working towards a thing because you're building towards the first draft of something, and that's productive, but also it feels good because you're like your brain's just unspooling. Yeah, and if whatever you had is nonsense, it doesn't matter. A different you will be editing it, and that you may well hate the past version of you. But yeah, it feels good and productive. Yeah, I feel like we veered pretty far off that question. I didn't like. It wasn't super like there were stories of people who have like. The guy who wrote the Patrick Melrose books, there's a story of him like shivering in the bath, writing it because it was so stressful to do it.
What?
Like handing it to his then girlfriend who would like type them up for him.
Oh my god.
And mine was more like just me in my little flat alone, like typing my like nerd death metal like quotes. So yeah, it on the whole a really, really positive experience. Yeah, I think I got away pretty lightly with it. Yeah.
That's good. That's good to hear. So you did have like the sun shining on you.
Yeah.
So this is a part of a series, though, isn't it? Like the publisher has commissioned it for different genres. So I saw that there's like a trip hop book as well. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of them coming out. There's one on. So yeah, the trip hop one came out at the same time. A dance punk one just came out, and a one on South African pop music's coming out.
Wow.
I think that's out now. But I'm really excited to read that. I've read some of the trip hop one. Trip hop one amazingly has some bits about the like OG Napalm Death drummer who's like who went off obviously like
Mick Harris.
Mick Harris, yeah, he went because he veered off from Napalm Death and was like, I'm just going to do like electronic music. So there's like, it was really cool that there's like a bit of a link between the two books, and that is the legend that is Mick Harris. Yeah, there's loads coming out. There's I know there's a few more, but I don't know if I'm legally allowed to talk about them.
Ooh, exciting.
It's really nice. Like there's like a community of like the writers now who like talk to each other. Like it's like author clout. This is fun.
That's
like this,
so cool.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Are you going to do more?
So I'm not really sure what my next moves are. I'm taking a bit of a break from like being super productive, and also like much though I love doing that, I'm taking a bit of a break from taking everything I like and doing it like for a job. I'm trying to like chill out a little bit. I have some ideas. Something I really want to do is if I was going to do a genre one, I would do something like hyperpop. Hyperpop is really interesting, really queer, really like really extreme sounds, but using a completely different palette, but kind of getting to a not dissimilar conclusion from a completely different starting point of like really destructive, intense music.
That's so fascinating. Like that crossover, I never considered that.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know how many hyperpop fans are metal fans. I don't know how many metal fans are hyperpop fans. But there's definitely like the like two like muscular arms like shaking meme. Yeah. That definitely applies to both of those things.
I think that's why I always really loved the Berserker.
Oh yeah.
I just think that first album, when it was just the Gabba inspired death metal, I was just like, wow. I've never thought to like combine two really fast genres into like one like just super chaotic album.
Yeah. What was who did Hardcore Motherfucker? I can't. It slips off my brain. Ultraviolence? Yeah. One of the earache bands. When earache were like, right, we can't just do death metal. We've got to do some weird stuff. Like Dub War.
Oh yeah.
It's funny, because I was looking at the earache roster, and there was one band that really threw me off that was on the roster.
They've got like mumble rap bands on there. I think there's SoundCloud bands as well. They've got some really odd stuff on their roster at the moment. There's like Buckstone Cherry and then like some guy from SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I think it was Buckstone Cherry. Was it Buckstone Cherry on the earache?
Buckstone Cherry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Jason Mendonça from Akakaka had like a small DJ career doing like Gabba music in the 90s.
That's fantastic.
That's
amazing.
I think that's true.
That.
I need to read, but I'm pretty. Yeah, it is true.
As a treat, I choose to believe it's true. Like
that's our daily treat today.
Yeah. That could be like my one conspiracy theory.
I'm pretty sure it is true though. It's just so weird that I sometimes doubt myself.
Yeah, it's one of those things like I say stuff like that all the time. Like, oh, have I fact checked this, or did I hear?
I do that a lot.
Yeah,
I accidentally cancel bands all the time.
Made up random shit.
Dude, that's
Because
so
like if
much.
a friend tells you that you're like, oh, I trust them, that's a reasonable source.
Yeah.
And then like I feel like maybe too much knowledge is built up from like stuff that like a mate told you that you're like, I trust you, Dave. Like that, like Dave wouldn't lie to me, and Dave heard it from Ben, who's like, Ben's a good egg, he's fine.
And Ben heard it from Steve, who's a piece of shit. Like,
Fucking Steve.
Yeah.
What a guy.
fuck Steve.
Ken Owens did a bit of DJing, right, from Carcass?
Did he?
Yeah,
I didn't
think
know
so.
that.
What was
That's
his DJ name? What would your DJ name be if you were in Carcass?
Cohen's.
Oh God, probably some long, unpronounceable medical text.
Corporal DJ Quandary.
Nice.
Thank you.
I was thinking if I was a DJ, I'd be DJ Harvey, and then like see if there'd be one person who's like, I got like a £5 ticket to PJ Harvey. This is fantastic.
It's like the Wish version. Like slightly misspelled. Yeah, I love that. I love when you're looking at clothes, like second-hand clothes, and you're like, it's Chunel.
Pruda, yeah.
Pruda, yeah.
Reback.
I love that stuff. I prefer it to the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see what's in your present?
Yeah, it's in the present.
The greatest gift of all. The puzzle.
Cool.
Ooh.
I'm getting real King Crimson vibes from this.
I love this. Reminds me of Labyrinth. This card.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
With the doors that are like gabbering at her.
Yeah. Your door knocker things were like
My
real
door
like
knocker.
one of us like the
My bad. Yeah,
the belt,
I was trying to be. Yes.
It's got yeah, that gives me real like one of us tells the truth.
Yeah, totally. Those doors like so cool, and yeah, I have taste in fashion that definitely harkens to that.
Yeah.
I will read this for you.
Well, you mentioned King Crimson. I saw a hilarious interaction further up in Seven Dials like a year or so ago. There was like these kids, looked about 17, and they must be going to some gig later. They were speaking to one of the market stall ladies, and he was wearing a King Crimson shirt.
Cool.
And he was like, "Oh, what's that name on your shirt?" And he was like, "Oh, it's King Crimson." She was just like, "Oh, I'm not really into new bands." And this kid was like, "They've been around since the 70s."
What did she listen to?
Only medieval harp music.
Oh my god! If it wasn't sung in a church, I'm not interested. That's amazing. I'll read this for you. It's somewhat more modern than King Crimson. 2 doors set deep in a mysterious wood face the inquirer. That's you. They are guarded by a crowned statue who holds the key. Which door to choose? A card full of puzzling implications. In our lives, we come face to face occasionally with situations where we are forced to make an agonizing choice. As the sting, there is often no clue given as to which course to take. This card reflects such a situation.
Oh my goodness, that's cool. Yeah, wow, that's less like when I got the last one, I was like, oh, maybe these are all positive. Like, no, that's yeah. I think I mean, book-wise, like I wanted to write a book since I was like 6, like, and now I've done that. I had there was like a big. This is a very self-indulgent author thing to say, but a bit after that, I was like, what do I do now? Like, I just one of those like sometimes you get what you want, and you're like, I didn't plan for what happened after this.
Yeah.
I've done that after like releasing albums and stuff as well. You're like, okay. So yeah, I guess like I'm not really like. Yeah, that's something to think about. I'm sort of hoping that something comes along where someone's like, "Do you want to do this?" I'm like, oh, thank God, I don't have to think about anything. Like, I just do this cool thing. I won't have to like agonize over doing like. Yeah, like actually though being the driving force in my life, I'll just let like yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's exhausting to have to make all the decisions. Yeah.
Yeah, to quote Miley Cyrus, the journey is the best part anyway.
The journey.
Shout
I
out
love the
Miley.
memes around
Shout out Miley Cyrus.
Shout out
The
Miley.
journey is the
Love
best
Miley.
part. It's an amazing vocal fry on that lady. Yeah, well, we don't have to delve too deep into the puzzle if you don't want to.
Yeah, it's sort of like things like as soon as I'll be like sat at dinner tonight and be like, oh yeah, agonizing choice, or like just something. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Decision making. Sometimes there isn't even, you don't have to make a choice. Sometimes we feel like we have to make choices, and you were saying earlier you want to do less and like have some time. Maybe that's part of that.
Yeah. It feels very weird to want that. Like everyone I know and I speak to who does like anything with bands, anything creative, like it's real, like they're like the most driven people I know. It's been odd. Like I just like making the conscious decision to like just chill out a little bit feels very, very alien to like how I've been doing stuff for the past however many years, like since uni, really, like 10ish years. And it feels very like alienating for people to be like, I've done this and this and this. I've been like, I have a really good naan bread recipe now.
Oh my god, you have to send me that.
I will, yeah, definitely.
I love naan bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made like a really good peshwari naan with ground cardamom.
Oh,
good
I
time.
just learned how to make like katsu curry. I made my first ever crumble last weekend.
Oh, amazing!
Because I'm terrible at overworking, because like culturally, socially, we're taught that we have to be productive members of society and make money and have a million side hustles and be able to do certain things and have this amount of money, and like when you're an artist you certainly don't have money and you don't have time and you just get really tired, and it's okay to rest, and like resting is scary because you're like, what if everything runs away from you? I think it's like a real big deal to just be able to step back and be like, you know what, actually I'm going to take care of myself. I like that. I like that you're doing that.
Yeah. It feels good. It felt very strange at first, but like now I'm like, I think as well, like I feel bad saying this, but like it is true. Like you see people doing stuff on, like bands doing amazing stuff on socials, and you're like, damn, I wish that was me. But like now, like having given it a bit of time, like, no, you know what, you're smashing it, you guys. That's amazing. It's just nice to be like, one thing is writing a book, even though I think people think of it as like a thing you do, it's just you, and it's not. Like you work with a publisher, and you work with an editor, and you work with marketing people, like artists, and all these other people come together to make this thing. It's just your name on the cover. It's way more involved with other people than you think, but it is also like at the same time, it is a very solitary thing. So I've just been in my own head for like a year, like 2 years really. So it's really nice to like take a step back and be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to other people's shows. I'm gonna cook meals for people. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna like, I'll just like, I'll help other people do their little thing, like facilitate other people's things. Like I don't need to be like goalsy all the time. Like I can chill out. It's good. It's nice.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, look after yourselves.
Yeah.
So was it the tail end of the pandemic that the project of the book kind of started, or was it a bit after that?
When was it? It was sort of... So I got the email through, I think end of... What year is this now? 23? 22?
Yeah, I've lost all sense of time.
No, God. I think like... So from like... It came out in November last year. So I think it was maybe the end of 2020. It was like... The actual writing and research of the book took about a year, but from like getting the email through saying like, would you like to do this, to me having it in my hands and going, I think it was about 2 years. I think end of 2020, but like that could be wrong. I don't know what time it is anymore. Like through like 2021 was me like big wall charts. Like I lived alone at the time, and like. I'm glad nobody saw like the state of my like. Was
it like the rest? Always Sunny like strings
basically,
connecting. Like that's so cool. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted a reason to be able to have the wall chart with like the little pins and the bits of thread.
I think it's like there's something really fun to like putting a like. I used to like put on loads of shows. I had loads of like leftover like A3 sheets of paper. I just like turned around so it was like the white side, and then would just like stick up on my wall, and then like get a big pen and then like draw out like where I would like how far through I was on the book, and I was like ticking something off a big list is satisfying.
Yes.
On a real deep like brain level. It's really, really fun.
I wonder where we get that evolutionary love of lists from. It's so like
Yeah.
What Neanderthal was like. Get a piece of rock and just be like,
top 5 rocks.
Yeah.
You would believe number 5. BuzzFeed for Stone Age people.
So speaking of lists, one question I want to ask you was, what would be your own personal like Mount Rushmore of death metal bands?
Okay, cool. That's a good one. So like 4 like massive. Cool.
Damn, I thought it was free.
No,
I mean,
fucked up.
yeah,
Today
erosion's
I-
a thing. One of them might fall off.
Today I learned. You know, there used to be Indian chiefs on Mount Rushmore.
Was it?
Yeah, it used to be like a bunch of Indian faces. And
That's very fitting,
they
isn't
just
it?
Yeah.
chiseled
Taken over
over
by
him.
presidents.
Yeah.
So like top 4 greatest of all time.
Yeah, just in your personal opinion, because I feel like it's too hard to quantify, like objectively, what's the best bands. So just
Yeah. I've always had a real soft spot for Morbid Angel. Like the first, yeah.
Woo! My boy!
I love Morbid Angel so fucking much. They're just
Tucker or Vincent?
Vincent.
Every day of the week.
Yeah,
That's the right
yeah.
answer.
He's so weird.
He's
I,
awesome. He's the best.
I love him so. He's such an odd character.
love him.
I kind of love that they came back with Elod, because it was like it was that album is like. Actually, re-listen to it. It's like, this isn't like, I mean, it's not like what you want if you grow up, if you were 15 and Altars of Madness came out. This is not the album you're after. But what a direction to go in. What a strange fucking thing to do.
Bold choice.
A bold choice indeed.
Yeah, that was the first Morbid Angel album I ever listened to, because
Yeah.
everyone was like, "This band is amazing. This band is like so like important to the history of death metal." So I listened to it because I was playing Hellfest that year, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh my god!
Killer,
is that,
killer.
Yeah, that song came out. I was like, "This is Morbid Angel."
Yeah. Was that
Listen
like 2012? Did you go to Hellfest that year?
Yeah, that was
I
my
went-
second Hellfest.
Oh, you're more metal than me. I went. That was my first one.
Oh, bless you! It was good.
Yeah, really
it was
good.
good. Yeah.
I took my stoner rock friend to see them instead of Clutch, and like I think, and then we watched the Elud stuff.
I was there, just being like, "Huh."
yeah. I don't know if he's forgiven me for making him miss Clutch because I was so into Morbid Angel.
Bless.
But I remember specifically like being there for like Where the Slime Live and stuff, and being like,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
And then like they were like, and now we're doing our new stuff, and everyone was like,
Everyone went silent.
yeah.
Me and Shem often say Gojira owe their career to the Where the Slime Live.
Yes, they do. Absolutely agree. I fucking love it. Like they're so weird. It's such a weird band. Like
I love them.
Yeah. Almost like when is it Kingdom's Disdain, the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's not. I mean, it's like it's not the misstep that like the like weird like I don't know who this
Well,
appealed.
Heretic. Is that what you're talking about?
What was the new one? The latest one? Was it
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Kingdoms Disdain.
Yeah,
It's always in
yeah.
alphabetical order, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
There's
clever.
Altars of Madness. I'm not going to go through them all, but like Altars
They're
of Madness.
okay.
Blessed
Good for
Mistake.
them.
Yeah. I think they did it accidentally, and then they were like, you know what, we're leaning into this now.
Oh, really?
What happens after Z? Do they go to numbers?
I don't know if
think
it.
they're gonna get that far.
They have to go like double A, so like this is Aaron, our album. I really, really, really want them to do like 2
What
minutes.
comes with double B?
I hope they
BBL,
do.
the album.
Like the Unknown in Pokemon, where they're like
Yeah,
they get to the end.
it's just like squiggly scraggles.
I wanted to do like just like lots of exclamation marks. That was the most Morbid Angel thing to do. It's like lots of
I
punctuation.
bet they type like that. Like, if you send them a message.
I just want to be in there like in a Morbid Angel staff meeting where they're like, shit, it's finally happened.
I want, you know, there's
Well,
a,
boys, we're on X. It's like, fuck.
someone who said, you know that meme that's like TikTok thing of like how X or Y would walk? Like how house walk? I want that for like Morbid Angel albums. Just bands. That would be great. I love the music for that. I'm sorry. I just completely ruined Morbid Angel forever.
My Mount Rushmore would be just Dave Vincent 4 times.
Cowboy Dave.
Cowboy Day.
Leather Dave.
Yeah.
Your Mount
Never
Rushmore,
Daddy
Morbid
Day.
Angel. Yeah. So what is your Mount Rushmore? One of them is Morbid Angel.
One of them was Morbid Angel. Oh man, they're all like. Oh, one of them was Napalm Death, who I just like will always love. I was pretty much like one of the main factors of me going veggie was like me being a kid and like
Aww.
listening to the Napalm Deaths and being like, I could be like them. No more meat for me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. They're just an unfuckwittable band, and like the story of the early like the first two Napalm Death records are so special, and like the story behind them is so like just so unlikely and so unusual, and so many things happened that just shouldn't have happened. It's just like, why hasn't everyone written a book about this? This is one of the most amazing stories in the whole of like music history. that like, it's not the same. Like, Scum is not the same band. They couldn't hold a band together to make Scum, and then like it charted. I'm pretty sure that one charted like. But I'm pretty sure it was Scum that charted above like Sonic Youth on the indie charts, thanks to John Peel's
Peel sessions.
Yeah. Just like nothing worked, and yet you have this amazing piece of art with this like you go straight from like the beginning of the genre has the shortest song ever written. You go straight to the extreme that like still. There's a real magic in like having that little piece of history like in the like one of the very early like foundational texts. That's an extreme thing. That's a really special extreme moment. So Napalm Death. Oh god, it's all old bands. To be fair, like Mount Rushmore maybe should be like foundational stuff. Death, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right.
We fuck with Death.
Everyone fucks with Death. I was so honoured to have a guy from Death interview for the book.
Really? Who?
Oh my god, I'm so bad with...
Murphy?
No.
Not DiGiorgio.
No, I wish I got
There's
Steve.
so many.
I've got him on Facebook and I'm too scared to message him and be like, hello, I think you're very good.
Masvidal?
No, shit. Oh my god, the first drummer who's in Autopsy.
Sean Reifert.
There we go.
That's it. Yeah. I am not Sean.
Chris Reifert. No. I'm thinking of Sean Ryan. I'm thinking of Chris Reifert was the drummer.
You
from
combined
Autopsy,
them both to make one.
It's really bad. I can't remember his name. I hope he doesn't listen to this. I'm so my one of the fun things about this is I had a big thing like when I was like getting into metal where I was like, everyone can remember all these fucking facts. I have such a bad memory.
I'm so bad. I don't remember
Chris
songs
Reifert.
of bands I love.
Yeah,
I don't remember my own
yeah.
lyrics.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how am I supposed to remember other stuff?
Yeah. I have a bad memory. I'm bad at like holding facts in my brain. But this is the thing, like we don't need to now. We can just look them up on the internet. We can read them in books. Like we don't have to hold this stuff in our brain. So it's like doing this was like my way of like reclaiming like you don't have to remember a whole fucking bunch of facts to be a metal fan. And that's brought us to this point where I can't remember the name of someone I interviewed.
Have people tried to gatekeep you?
Pretty sure it's Chris Reifert.
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah. It is indeed, yeah, who went off to do Autopsy. A lovely guy. Amazing story of him. This is the only like really lurid story from like an interview I did where like he, for the first album they did, they got a $5,000 advance and they spent half of it on weed and had to record the entire thing in 4 days. I asked him like how much weed was that and he was like, I can't remember. Like, buddy, I am not surprised.
That's
Oh
amazing.
yeah, brother.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't
Absolute king
ketamine. That would have been a really bad album if it was.
Wasn't that's literally what happened for Dope Smoker as well.
Oh, it was way more,
Yeah.
way more money
shoe
than.
fits.
I think they got like they said 80k, but there was no way it was 80k. I think it was more like 16 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spent a lot of it. I think they spent like 20k on weed, and then the rest on amps, and that was it.
I think Autopsy still held, for me, one of the, in my opinion, one of the worst album covers. They had that album, Shit
Oh,
Shit.
yeah.
Fun.
It's the
Yeah.
It's the wah.
It's horrible. Every time.
Like, it's genuinely unpleasant. I don't like looking at it. I look at all these horrible zombie gore stuff. I'm like, fuck yeah, I love this. And like I look at like the shit fun ones. Like, I don't like this. That's unpleasant.
That's what I want to elicit from. Like,
Yeah,
art,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I want people to be like, ooh,
My sensibilities.
good lord. Does my husband know?
Heaven forfend. My final one will be a band we all know and love, the Bolt Throwers.
Yes!
Yay!
Good answer.
Yeah,
Warhammer crossover.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
I love the old. I don't know if they were published in like the OG White Dwarf, but there's a couple of pictures of them like really young, just playing Warhammer together. Like, this is
So
perfect.
cool, man.
One of
Yeah.
like my fantasies is to play Warhammer with Carl Willits.
I hope he
love
still
that.
I wonder if he's
plays.
still playing.
I don't
he's still
know.
We need to ask him.
Maybe I would just be like, hey Carl, can we come and play Warhammer at your house?
It'd be funny if he was like, I'll stop playing 40k in 7th edition.
As soon as Allies came back, fuck it, no.
Fuck the Allies table.
I just can't imagine him playing Age of Sigmar.
Huh?
That's all I
Yeah, he's a
play.
square base guy, you know.
He
Yeah.
is a square base. No compromise. No square base. No gods, no masters, no square base, no
all
round
pewter
bases.
models.
No Stormcast.
Obviously, they would never do this, but like that would be the ultimate like Kickstarter goal. Like, you know, you get the album, you get the album on vinyl, you get the like, deluxe edition, and then like $1,000 is like come and play Warhammer.
I would pay so much money to do
Yeah,
the bolt thrower meet and greet where you just battle them.
I'm surprised Warhammer didn't do for Bolt Thrower what Warcraft did for Corpse Grinder. You had to kind of make him
yeah.
character.
Well, they had them on their label, didn't they?
Bring back the Warhammer label. They gave us that awesome Sabbath song.
I worked in Games Workshop when I was 18, and that
Right.
was how I found out about Bolt Thrower. Everyone that worked there was like, yeah, Games Workshop used to have a record label, and that's how I found out about them.
Yeah.
It was cool.
They had a this is like I'm outing myself as a real dork here, but
Do it.
they had a single out. This like Warhammer brought out a single.
Flexi-disc.
Yeah, no, but like this year, like over Christmas they brought out a song. I'm like, come on, bring it back, bring your label back, come on. I just like I want there to be one guy in Games Workshop because they're making so much money now. They did so well over the pandemic because everyone was
Mate,
like,
we should just pitch them and just be like, we'll fucking go on that label. Hell yeah. Just have fucking 40k
this
artwork
is
on our
like okay,
albums.
now this is the puzzle. This is the big like, do I like end my career in whatever the fuck I'm doing to be like?
Be the A&R guy.
Oh my god,
Do
the
it!
Games Workshop V&I guy.
Just quickly, I
Yeah.
want to intercede, right?
Cool.
So you know the new Angron model. For the
Oh,
models?
yeah, it's sick.
So they leaked that. They posted it on the Games Workshop Instagram,
Yeah.
and they had like rock music because it's like audio, but it sounded like fucking Muse. And
Right,
I commented on the Instagram, and I
Yeah.
was like, "This is so cool. Glad you're leaning into the old school heavy metal thing. It's a shame the music kind of sucks. It would have been nice if you did like a rip-off Bolt Thrower thing."
Yeah.
And I swear to God,
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but the next thing I posted like World It Is, it sounded like Bolt Thrower. The music, and I was like, I don't know if they actually listened to me or not. But it'd be so cool. if they
Shemma's
did.
shouted at Mark Rosewater, who like runs the Magic the Gathering franchise, because like he met him at a convention. He was like, "Bring back Garrick the Planeswalker," and then a year later, he's back. Like
You've
that
got
is
the power,
what you
man.
do.
You've
I
got the
just
power.
aggro people into
He
doing
just
cool
yells
shit.
at people and they make
You
stuff
can send
happen.
the email where we
Yeah.
pitch the Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Bring back your goddamn
Bring
label.
back fucking Bolt Thrower.
And then like
You're
a
like,
day
you're like
later,
Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Do it.
Just bring it back.
just do it.
Yeah, everyone wants it.
Like more.
Yeah.
Everyone
That's
does
you.
want it. Everyone, yeah.
We want it.
We want it.
Yeah.
Real bad. God,
Did you manage to catch a Bolt Thrower at Damnation?
I did indeed.
That
I
was
did
a great
indeed.
set.
That was beautiful. I saw them at Hellfest as well. The year.
Yeah, I was there. I went to both that year.
I yeah.
Did Bolt Fest that year? Was it that year?
I didn't do.
It was a
Bolt Fest.
benediction, Bolt
Oh my
Thrower.
god.
Was the Angel of Meth band? Gore
The
Rotted.
The Rotted.
Oh, the Rotted that used to be Gore Rotted. And there's another one I forgot.
That album's still one of the best puns. Only tools and corpses.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
good.
Can't fit her limbs in the fridge.
Oh god, that had one of the
Gold.
most brutal pits I have ever seen in my whole life.
Jesus.
It was terrifying.
I'm not a pit person at all.
Nah, me neither.
I'm a wimp.
I got pulled into a pit once, and the guy like started ballroom dancing with me in the pit. That's the only time I've ever been in a pit.
I did a little bit of pitting as a treat to Lightning Bolt at
Oh, I
Archangel last-
love Lightning Bolt.
God, it was so good.
They are so fucking good.
I screamed
yeah.
myself hoarse and was in like drag for the whole festival. And, like,
Amazing.
so I just sounded like fucking Lemmy, and it didn't really. But that is in the spirit of drag, in fairness.
I love
like-
that. Yeah. it lines up. Yeah.
That rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, Lightning Bolt is so underrated.
Oh my god. But yeah, I saw. I was like, this isn't me. But I'm having a good time. Like in a limited time, I'm going to do this. I'm having a really good time. And I saw a mate who I didn't realize was at the festival, like just like sail over my head. We had a moment where we were like, oh hey, and then like he passed over me. It was a beautiful like.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like 0.5 seconds of like recognition.
Amazing.
Yeah, good times.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fun times in pits. Should we go to the future?
Oh yeah, what's in the future? The home.
Oh.
I hope I absolutely cannot afford one of those right now. So
Well,
hopefully,
it's a sign.
yeah,
Maybe you're going to get a really good book deal.
hopefully.
A cosy cottage hearth with tea laid out and a cat curled up by a burning fire on a winter's evening. This card draws us to our background and the security we all need for a warm, comforting environment. It represents the trusted, simple things in our lives which we sometimes undervalue.
Oh,
It's so
that's
good.
really nice.
You get such wholesome cards.
Yeah, that's lovely. I hope that is like. I sort of swing wildly between like, God, I want to do like, the struggle where you're like you're like constantly on it. You're like opportunities. Like write new things. I'll like do all this stuff. My brain will melt constantly to be like, no, I want to like be near a cat and like like want to send Nina my naan bread recipe. Like,
yes, please.
So yeah, maybe that's like that's a good thing to aim for. Yeah, maybe that would be like, to be honest, like at this point, like 21-year-old me would not enjoy 31-year-old me saying this, but like that would be a really nice future, like a very chill thing. I think one of my big like little like sweet little fantasies is I really want like a nice like a decent sized place that like bands can come to on tour. You're like death metal Rivendell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They cross over the waterfall and like.
Yeah. Oh. Hopefully, like their wizard didn't die. Like, yeah.
Who wants some lambert spread?
Yeah. That's a nice one.
That's so wholesome. Are you more of a cat person or a dog person?
Oh my god. I currently live with a dog who is incredibly sweet. He is a purebred Pomeranian called Waffles.
Oh,
Do you want I haven't got my phone on me. I'll show you a picture of Waffles.
Pomeranians.
God.
I really want one, but they're probably a bit too yappy. I kind of want to get a Shetland sheepdog, which is like a giant Pomeranian, but really intelligent as well. But yeah, I love them. They're so cute.
Oh, so cute. I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you a pic.
There's a Pomeranian dog walk around there here.
Yeah.
We've got like five. It's all different colours. Like there's like a chocolate one.
Yeah, they have like one of those
adorable.
leads that like separates out, and they're all just they're like a nine tails just like fanning in front.
Oh
of
my
them.
god.
It's like Pokemon trainer guy.
We had somebody bring in that Pomeranian once.
Yes!
And it was called Cedric Doggery.
Oh my god! I forgot about that.
So ours is like a pure white pom called Waffles, and I'm like petitioning his owner to get my flatmate to get a black one called Gothels.
Oh my god!
Oh my
Yes!
god, that'd be amazing.
Oh, it's so
He's
cute.
an angel.
Little yin and yang dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, he's like, like all dogs are like, you see a picture of a dog and you go, oh, it's a baby, and he's like a real like. You were talking about like your drummer earlier, where you're like it's sick to see a really good drummer, and then some drummers are like, oh fuck, like he's like the oh fuck of like cute dogs.
Yeah.
Like, he's just such a maybe that's like I live with him and I love him so much, but like
now some dogs are just like I would die for them.
oh, yeah. It's a baby.
So cute.
Yeah.
You like pugs a lot.
Yeah, by proxy, kind of. Amy's big into pugs. She really wanted to have a black and a fawn one and call them Pablo and Diablo.
That's cool.
Diablo.
There's that meme that goes around, and I don't know what the context is, but just like, like adopting dogs, you can see like, I'm going to say their stats, but you can see like he's nice with kids, etc. There's one that goes around and the name is just like Mr. Booty Ham Sandwich. It's just like what? No context, whatever. It's just a silly dog name, and it just like makes me cackle every time.
Mr. BHS. I love that. I want to name myself that. I want to go by that name.
I'll call you it.
You could call me that.
So.
All right, we're doing it.
Do it like a really heavy gothic font.
Mr. and Mrs. Booty Ham Sandwich. I
want that like announced at like a fancy like.
With like trumpets announcing with like little.
Booty Ham Sandwich.
You may enter the court.
What he needs to do is get to enter Crufts.
Well, get like the Shrek.
But just to give you the context, there's a video where someone superimposed Shrek onto one of the Crufts like athletic like slalom courses that they do. And they've done a really good job of masking the dog that was in the original video.
I need
so it's
to
just
show
a miniature
you.
Shrek running around destroying the.
We need to have like a very quick like reaction moment.
It is amusing.
It's so fun. We have like a 10-minute part of.
This is established law for the podcast.
It's so funny. This just kills me every time.
This is really good.
It's amazing.
Like the main thing of him just running around is funny, and then there are like just little this is really-
moments. Like when he goes through the tube and like the slalom is just incredible.
That's the bit that gets me.
I think this is a very like elder internet user thing to say, but I think there was genuinely a time where I had seen like most of the memes on the internet.
Yeah.
And now I'm like I could spend all day every day just like people like
New ones.
showing me like memes. I wouldn't see all of them, and that is a wild thing to think of.
And then sometimes someone will share something that's from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And you feel like that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That worries me.
I miss the days of all the E-Bounds worlds and all the like badges and Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Simple times. Did you ever play the Impossible quiz? Am I the only person who knows about fuck's sake?
Rings a bell. What was the Impossible?
It was like on a web browser, and you typed it in, and it was just a really difficult quiz, and it was like interactive, and it would like trick you, and you'd have to like think really laterally to like get through it, and like the questions were really weird.
I took a lot of Am I Gay quizzes around then.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was maybe an early sign that I wasn't straight. So I think I missed out on the Impossible quiz, unfortunately.
Fair enough. I think I did loads of like, what vampire are you?
Oh,
Like, I did all that
yeah.
lame, like, but kind of fun. I like
Yeah.
quizzes. Quizzes
Oh,
are
one of my
fun.
favourite ones and kind of relevant on the topic was there was a death metal karaoke meme.
Oh, is it?
And it was that band Iniquity, they're like a Danish death metal band. And it was one of the craziest vocal performances I've ever heard.
That
And
is
actually
so
really
cool.
got me into the band.
We need to do karaoke because there's like a Japanese karaoke bar around the corner from here, and we
Yeah.
have to just go and do that one day.
What's your karaoke song?
I don't know. I've not done it. Probably something by System of a Down.
Oh, sweet.
I love them. They're just the only band I actually know the lyrics for.
Oh, no, yeah.
I will say though, as fun as System of a Down is doing at karaoke, you get so breathless about halfway in. I tried Prison Song once and I was fucked.
They're trying to build a prison.
You have to like, that's an odd one because you have to shout facts in the middle. Like, it's like, I remember lots of facts to do with
They
karaoke.
used to do karaoke at the Dev. And
I used to
go,
sing that song word for word.
Mother by Danzig is my song.
Mother.
Every time I would do that, I'd get a standing ovation.
Yeah,
People love
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit. But I tried to do System of a Down once, and it's too fucking hard.
I could do it. I can do System of a Down. I could do Bubbles back in the day. And the pizza pie song. Pizza pie, pepperoni, green peppers, pizza pie. I can't remember it.
Great content.
But it's a
Yeah.
really good song.
I
Yeah,
did,
it's just so good. Woo!
I did For Whom the Bell Tolls once. And that's a
Damn.
bad idea because
Is that
like,
quite long?
well, yeah, it's like a 2-minute intro. You have to sit there like, hi everyone.
Holding the mic.
It's going to drop soon.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Mighty Boosh bit where like the guy Howard Moon is like trying to show like a jazz fusion? He's like, the beat's gonna drop in a minute.
That was me. I'm the heavy metal version. Oh my god, I'm in heavy metal. Oh no. I'm the heavy metal Howard Moon. Oh no.
That's not a bad thing. Howard Moon's cool. He's underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love Julian Barrett.
He's so funny.
Yeah. I saw Garth Marenghi live the other day. Yeah, and like
Oh
I always
my
forget that Julian
God.
Barrett's in that. Like,
It's
yeah.
so
I
good.
love Dark Place. So
much.
funny.
I really want to see the new thing that he's done.
Yeah.
Is it Terradome?
Terratome.
Terratome.
Yeah. So he does. He did, half of it was like a in character reading, and then it was an in character Q&A.
Oh my god!
So good.
Oh,
I had no
love
idea that was
him.
even going on. That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah. It was like very. It was amazing, but also very odd because like that was the thing that me and my like 16 to 18-year-old friends would watch and like quote to when we were like getting drunk, when it was like when it was like when we were on our like peak drinking era. Like,
Yeah.
get drunk and shout Dark Place quotes.
I think that has one of the best first episodes of any series. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
He's like getting a shovel and just like whacking his mate's decapitated head off the floor of a hospital room.
I just love Richard Ayoade in it.
It's so good.
It's dry as ever.
The Monster Baby episode.
Well, when I recommended it to Raquel, because I was just like, I couldn't wait for her to see that episode, because that episode is so like, kind of just...
What, Raquel Energy?
No, it was
No one knows
just...
who Raquel is,
Yeah.
apart from us.
It's like, there's just something about that episode that's just so kind of like morose and sad.
It's a really depressing episode.
Yeah. And obviously the Scotch Mist.
I was going to say it's so fucking funny.
That's ripe for a rewatch. Speaking of the past, shall we see what your past driving force was?
A
Stranger.
Cool.
Ooh, that's number 30. I shall read that for you now. In shadow, making an entrance in a doorway, stands a character whose sex is ambivalent. The stranger perhaps symbolizes that part of our nature we've shut out, that is now entering in a surprising way. It is the equivalent to the anima or animus, the excluded part of our psyche that is the opposite sex to our own. It can also stand for any person we've underrated or neglected, who could prove themselves a force in our lives. Represented here is also the caution and apprehension we feel towards the new people in our lives initially.
Oh. That's interesting. So that's the present...
That's
past,
your past,
yeah.
like, driving force.
Okay. Like, a lot of tension there. It's interesting.
Definitely. There's a lot of... I mean, there's a guy literally standing in potentially a closet.
Well...
just potentially.
Yeah. I think, like... interesting. I mean, like, we were talking earlier about, like, when you get what you want, you're a bit like, what do I do now? You have to, like, think about what your motivations actually were. You can be... One of the things about, like, getting so into a like creative project that you forget everything is that you can sort of, like... You occasionally have moments of, like, clarity where you're like, why was I doing this in the first place? Like, what, like... Yeah... It's interesting. Like, I think, and why it's interesting to sort of have that tension. Like, I feel like sometimes when you complete a massive project, some of that tension is kind of broken. And you're like, oh, it was like really important to have that, to like want to do things. But also, yeah, we talked a lot about being queer, and like he is literally coming out of a closet on there. I've been more. So I came out as non-binary. Sort of over the course of like last year, and I feel that like it's good that sort of tension is gone. They've like resolved that. So maybe that was a sort of like maybe some of that like was energy that I put into things. Interesting. Yeah,
because there's this idea of sublimation, which I think is Freudian, but that doesn't mean it's right, because Freud was so wrong about so much. But he had this idea of like how a lot of people put their sexual energy into creative projects.
Oh damn! Yeah,
and that's what he would call it.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely something that a lot of people do. I think it's very common and very normal, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
It's a Freud thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I've seen that like talked about a lot. I don't know Freud very well at all. It's really bad.
No, you're not missing out on much.
I know my friend David, who like was really like I quoted a lot through the book, and like with his pals generally. I know he's big into psychoanalysis and everything. We did a podcast interview together, where he was like led on like all the cool stuff. Like he knows that shit like inside out. I was there like, for a book. Don't have much of the like theory to add to that. I definitely do think like that kind of like sexuality and like gender tension. You just don't know what to do with that energy if you don't have the like. If you're sort of tense with that, you don't have a way to express it. It's very interesting. Like I can definitely see how that's true. I don't want to like nail my colours to something Freud said if we're not like if this podcast is not vibing with Freud.
No, it's fine. You can say whatever you want. Like there's no. I'm not gonna be like how dare you. Because I think there is truth in a lot of what he says. I just but then he also like will say something absolutely like, oh, I don't think I had a fecal stage necessarily. Like,
fecal stage.
Oh yes, so Freud had this idea of like you go through stages throughout your life. One of those stages was the fecal stage, where you're obsessed with shit.
Oh right, yeah, okay.
That was autopsy had that.
There is a fecal stage.
Bringing it back. Thank you for setting that up earlier in the episode.
Maybe it is true.
Oh, and that's oral fixation as well. It's the same thing.
Oral fixation.
Okay. I just don't want to think. I regret bringing that up. I think a bit of me in the back of my brain was like, no, don't say it. You have to think about it, you idiot.
I mean, we definitely make Freudian slips on this podcast all the time, so we're pretty tight in that respect.
Oh yeah.
My friend had back in uni had an amazing idea of going to doing a Halloween party, like dressed as Freud, but in like a
slip.
Like a bathrobe, like a Freudian slip. I think that's like that's the sickest Halloween idea, like for like English students, like. Yeah.
I would love it, just like swanning around, like being like, I am Freud, I'm
Yeah.
very charming. Would you like a cigar?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they even hand out cigars to people. You can be like the cigar person.
This cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing going on here.
Unless.
I hope my mum isn't listening to this, but I had a cigar the other day.
Oh,
Not
really?
very nice.
They're not, but they feel nice. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You
look
feel
at-
fancy with a cigar, but then it
Yeah.
tastes disgusting. I
Yeah.
like the smell though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look very cool, but like
You
I
do.
remember like. Yeah, I wasn't really into it. I'm sure like maybe it's in a quite.
You're not even supposed to inhale it.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm used to like again, Mum, do not listen to this, but I'm used to inhaling.
Substances.
Maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
Who was like, I did not inhale? Who was that? That was an American politician.
Oh, was it a president or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did not inhale.
I did not.
was it
eat
John McCain?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
John McCocaine.
I remember that. It's like a prehistoric American. That was like. Do you
It's
remember?
Clinton. It's Bill Clinton.
It was
Do you
Clinton.
remember that when that was hog wild in American politics, and that was like a high watermark for hog wild
Yeah.
in American
And
politics?
now.
I feel like now we're like whatever. Like
Yeah, I don't. Nothing would make me bat an eyelid now. Like you could do just mad stuff, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever.
yeah. American politics. God.
Yeah. We're becoming like that too, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean we had the National Conservatism Conference this fucking week.
Yeah, that was.
That was some interesting stuff. That was real, like, gloves off stuff. That was real, like, the mask not just slips, but it, like...
saying the quiet part.
Yeah. Like, don't eat, you can't...
All the black metal fans like, huh.
Yeah. Interesting that we had that and Marduk in the same week.
Right, and they do like their flyers, don't they?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All the subtext was silent there.
The grim time.
Fuck Marduk.
I used to-
Lame.
When I was a kid, I used to have, like, opinions on politics. I'm not sure I do anymore. Like, there's nothing of substance being said. It's just all, like, another shade of very depressing nonsense. Like, I don't have any... There's nothing to be said about this. This is just, like, another terrible day on Turf Island.
J.K. Rowling home island.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. It's like playing Bloodborne and everyone's a turf and they just turn around and like... Yes. Should we go towards your driving, the thing you're going towards? Your
I
goal?
think I'm going towards.
Yes.
The cave?
Ooh.
Cool.
Ooh, I was really worried it was going to be death. Because you've not had any like really negative. Sometimes people turn over like death, the cave, the prisoner, and I'm just like, well.
It's a very pretty... Oh, I say it's a very pretty cave, but that person is crouched down in a fetal position.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
that's
Meshuggah
fun.
album cover.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the fecal position, which the stage
Nice.
I was
That's a-
thinking it. I
that's
didn't
a
know if anyone was
callback.
going to say it.
That's a good album name if Autopsy are listening.
What, the fecal position?
That's the remix album of Shit Fun.
Yeah.
the Morbid Angel crossover remix, like industrial. Anyway, the cave. A character is prostrate, facing away from the light in the gloomy recesses of a deep cave. This card stands for depression and despair. It symbolizes withdrawal into the self as a result of pain or grief. It can also mean introversion or loneliness and acts as a reminder to the inquirer that the light awaits after a period of healing darkness. So this is probably more about the entrance and the light than it is about being all like fetal.
I think so that this is the goal I'm working towards. I think like it's nice to have a period of like I've had a bit of a period of calm, and I think like I can feel like part of me going like, no, we're bored, we want to do things, we want to like
You want to come out the cave?
no, I want to go back into the cave. I
wanna
want to
go back in
suffer.
the cave?
Like I want to like
So you've come out of the closet and you're going into the cave.
yeah, that's some fraud shit right there. But like
That's
I want
the
to
next
like
book title.
but sometimes you're like, I want to do, like, the whole one more heist.
Yeah.
You know, like, I could be dragged back in to do like
getting the band back together.
It's like another series of Psycard where you just like get all the old crew and
I
like.
love season 3. It was so much fun.
God, it was so good.
Yeah.
Best one by far.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think seasons 1 and 2 were very good.
Me neither. But I was like, I love these guys. But then I was just like, whoa, really pleasantly shocked and surprised. Wolf. Oh my god.
Oh my god, I cried thinking about a Star Trek episode the other day.
Which
one? It's the one where they. So I was watching the Orville and they have the like.
Oh my god, I've only watched the first season.
I've not finished the first season.
Okay.
It's fun.
It is funny. Yeah.
But it's the one I watched. So I watched the episode of the Orville where they have the court scene, and that made me think of the one.
Oh, the Data A Measure of a Man.
Yes. Like the very last scene where like Riker doesn't go to the party, and Daisy goes and sees him. It's like, "Are you okay?" Like, no. Like, I don't know if we're still friends. And Daisy's like, "We're still friends." And like they just have that little moment about it. Like they just like reaffirm their friendship. And
I
Daisy's
love
like,
them so much. Like
yeah.
Because like Data stands for like he's so like neurodivergent. He's so everything like non-binary and like easily like a lot of like queer people could easily read themselves in Data.
Yes,
right. And like for me, I always related to Data and Wolf because they were like they didn't belong.
Yeah.
So for me, that was like that's like the like second gen immigrant perspective of like never really fitting in but really wanting to, but then also being really different. And like Data is like such an amazing character.
Also, when Data has the kid and they're like,
Lord,
what gender is it?
yeah.
I'm gonna let it choose.
Yeah.
Fucking zen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That and the scene in Deep Space Nine where
Jadzia!
Yeah.
Jadzia, old friend! Yeah!
That's awesome. Yeah.
And the Klingons are like just down with like trans shit, like immediately.
Yeah, they're just like, well, of course this checks out.
Yeah.
That's an honourable way to be. If you're like
super honourable.
Yeah.
Being a TERF, dishonourable.
Being a TERF is dishonourable.
Yeah.
Dishonour to your house if you're a TERF.
You're a Pataka if you're a TERF.
Fuck TERFs.
Yeah. The fucking Duras sisters were TERFs.
The outfits of the Duras sisters. They're Deep Space
Klingons,
Nine, aren't they? They're just like kind of like sneaky Klingons.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Floyd.
I'm trying to remember.
You're just naming Star Trek episodes.
I love Star Trek so fucking
Oh,
much.
it's the best.
Yeah.
Is
It
it
really is.
Martok? Is that the one with missing an eye? He's
General Martok.
yeah. I love him and his wife.
Oh,
She's like,
isn't
when
she amazing?
Isn't she fantastic? And like someone's like, "Dude, you're okay." And she's like telling you what to do, and she's like, "She's magnificent."
Yeah. Have you seen the VHS game version? With like, you will experience beige.
Oh, Gowro.
Garrel is like, it's so good. I have it.
I don't know if I have. That's amazing.
good. He's just wandering around the Enterprise. It's like an adventure.
Right.
Like you choose what to do, and then you've got like press the tape, and he's like, "You over there in that corner, you will experience." But he's got these doing the eye thing, and you're just like, "Oh, Garon, oh,
Calm down, Garon.
calm down."
Oh, is that what you got given as a Secret Santa gift? Oh,
It was
yeah.
such
Oh
a
my
good
God.
gift.
Amazing.
It was a
It's
really
amazing.
good gift. Yeah, I've not been able to. I don't have a VHS player, but it's like a board game, and you play it with your VHS.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Bring that back.
I know.
Where did that go? Why, yeah.
And you know what? That should be the next minor. We should start doing album releases on VHS.
What was the game that did that was really popular? Do
I'm trying to remember.
you know what it's got? I could picture the
I think I had that because I remember like rewinding and
something
forward winding.
brain
Atmosphere.
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 Yeah.
Is that Atmos and then fear? Yeah. Sphere. There's like one guy with like really long hair going, haha, yeah, we'll call it this. Awesome.
I remember playing that once, and like, because you know, they're basically, there's like, who's the oldest person, and he calls them the old one, and then who's the young one, he calls them the young one. I remember playing it, and then my mum was the old one, and there's one bit where like you put the tape in, he's like, I want to play with the old one now. And everyone just died laughing because it's so creepy sounding.
I love that shit, man. It's so good to talk Trek and
Oh, it's good to try.
things.
It's my like if I'm having a bad time, like I'm always like grab the Trek, like especially like big existential stuff like politics and that. Like it's good to have like this could be the future. We could have like
Gay space communism.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like we could like rethink how we can rethink like not just the economy, but like how we think about work, and we could still like not only rethink how we do work and money, but we can still be really productive. We can still like like those people in the Enterprise never fucking sleep. They're like not only like the best in their field at like
Everything.
Yeah, engineering and shit. But they're like, and like we're doing fencing, we're doing poetry, we're doing all this stuff. We're filling all our time with stuff, and we're doing it because we want to do it. We're like, we don't. No one's paying us to do this stuff. Like all I
They have everything they could possibly want.
Yeah, but they're still like they're not like just lying down
doing nothing. Yeah, I think that's what people like. They're like, oh, but like if we don't get the AI to do the art and the music, then you people will be so lazy, and we can't have laziness. That's so bad. Like you need to be, Yeah, I think you're totally right. The thing I like about that is what I like about Star Trek is that it gives you the idea of productivity without profit, which is like something that we've conflated to be the same things. But yeah, there's that wonderful episode where they find people who've been cryogenically frozen in TNG. And like they unfreeze like this businessman is like, where are my stocks? I need to talk to my banker and my lawyer, and they're like, honey, there's no bank. He's like, what?
Bad news. Yeah. Pick a different thing.
You can do whatever you want. He's like, I don't understand. What about my stock prices?
Why would you like wake up in that world where they're like, okay, no more banks, but you can get really into fencing, and you'd be like, oh,
my
I want the banks.
I want my Dogecoin.
Yeah.
But they make a point about that in the episode, don't they? Because it's like that guy was just using wealth as a way to show he was better than everyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
He
And
becomes
like,
a space character and fucks everything up.
Yeah, and they're like, no one does that anymore. That's just dumb. Like,
Well, people do that, unfortunately.
in the episode.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Look at us on a podcast criticising crypto. Controversial.
You should totally get in touch with Alexander Milas.
Oh,
Just
that'd be
talk
sick.
Trek with him.
Oh, yeah.
He loves
we
it,
could,
doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very... I could do a podcast on Trek, but I'm too busy watching Trek.
Which season was The Rock in? Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in an episode once, right?
I think that might have been
that was,
Enterprise.
was that Voyager?
Oh, it's probably Voyager, because that's the one that I don't watch. I don't like
No?
Voyager. Neelix just makes me really angry.
Yeah, he looks fucking irritating.
I'm really sorry. I just don't like Neelix.
Oh, no, that's again. I'm
Yeah.
just interested.
I,
Like,
I once spent £50 like a VIP ticket for a Star Trek convention.
right.
Shabno's
This is
ending
a
of the story. I spent 50 quid on this ticket. I was a student. I had no money. I saved up, and I was like, I'm gonna get an autograph and like a cute little like goodie bag. And I get it, and I open it. I'm like, who's my autograph gonna be? And it's the one Star Trek character I hate, and it's fucking Neelix.
Yeah,
And it's him with
yeah.
like a fucking spoon
funny.
and his character, and it's just like, hey, it's Neelix. And I just
Yeah, I'm not a massive Neelix fan. I wonder if you had like a reason for it, or like you just
no, I just
vibe
don't
with
like him. I
No,
don't
that's
vibe.
fair. No,
I don't vibe. He
yeah.
talks too much.
I
And he
he's-
dates a child as well. He dates like a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
He literally does.
Say it's
Yeah.
doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also like there's a lot of it just hasn't aged very well. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
Native American stuff. Like
Well, you know why?
Yeah.
That's because Rick Berman produced that season. Like not the season, that whole version of the franchise. And like Berman, basically after Roddenberry died, Berman took over, and he was just a piece of shit.
right. Yeah.
And he's the reason that Jadzia had to leave, because she asked for equal pay to her male counterparts, and he was like, no. That's why she died.
That's why she left.
That's why they killed her.
God, I thought she just got a better paid job.
No, they wouldn't pay her equal to her male. She just wants to be
How
paid
can
the
you
same.
make a post-money TV show and be like, well, we're not going to pay people. This is just like a fantasy world. Like,
Yeah, you know 7 of 9, the outfit she wears in Voyager. She used to faint in that outfit. And instead of like giving her a different outfit, Rick Berman was like, "Oh, we'll just get a team of nurses in, so they'll resuscitate you every time you faint, and it would
Yeah.
take her 20 minutes just to pee." And then Mariana Sirtis, Deanna Troi, she got an eating disorder because he kept telling her she was too fat. So Rick Berman sucks. Everything else very good.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah, Berman
Yeah.
Trek is not good Trek, which is
Yeah.
why Voyager is just not the one for me, because he was like very much. He took over. I think like early Enterprise. He did some of TNG, and then Enterprise and not Enterprise, early TNG and DS9. And because that's when the religion was introduced, because Roddenberry was like, no religion in Star
Yeah,
Trek.
yeah, yeah.
But to be honest, they did it really well. And then, that's why Enterprise just died and the Trek franchise didn't continue for a really long time. And like, he obviously is not involved in Discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's every series has like like a couple of clangers, but there's a really truly bafflingly dreadful episode in Voyager where like Janeway and I think Tom Paris, who I think is the navigator.
Yeah, he never gets promoted.
Yeah. He gets demoted.
Oh no, that's
and then
Ensign
promoted.
Kim.
Oh, Ensign Kim.
Yeah, he's like he's
a
an
nice
ensign
boy.
forever.
He's a nice boy.
His poor
yeah.
Ensign Kim.
Perpetual
He's literally in space for like his whole life, and he just doesn't get a single promotion.
He's like through like he suffers so much. Like they
everyone
all-
in Trek should be like severely traumatized. I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah,
therapy
yeah.
they're getting.
I'm not
It's
surprised.
good.
Like only one ship has a therapist. Like lads, you need like way more of these people.
I've not even seen the episode, but I read a synopsis of that episode where they're around the demon world and it creates a copy of the ship, and you're watching.
You mean the
this-
mirror worlds?
No, it's called the demon world, and then there was like basically it creates a mirror copy of the ship, and because they're further away from it starts to come apart, and you think it's the actual crew, but then you realise you're watching clones of the crew.
Oh yeah, that's
and
some
they
real
come
fucked up
they come
shit.
apart. I couldn't sleep after I read the synopsis. I was like, I'm
The
not-
freakiest, the
it was
one,
so upsetting.
the most unsettling episode for me is the one where they're being experimented on by an alien race.
Oh,
Yes,
fuck.
yes.
So
And like they're
so
asleep. They're like too far into space, and they're like we don't know what happens in this bit of space, and then like
Yeah.
they have to recreate it in the holodeck.
Yeah,
Is that the one? Yeah.
But they hear the
Yeah.
clicking sounds.
God,
They hear
I don't
clicking.
feel too good.
They hear clicking, and then they're like, "Why aren't you getting any REM sleep?" And then like, "Huh, all your organs have been taken out of your body and then put back in."
Oh, it's so dark.
so horrible.
Star Trek is so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
My mum loves Next Generation, and we watched that when I was a kid. That messed me up. That messed me up real bad. That was one of my first like experiences of Star Trek, and that like that was not like the fun like post money society like I ended up loving it for. That was a very
It's dark.
dark thing for a kid to watch.
When I was a kid, the first episode I ever saw, which made me not watch it for a long time, was the Salt Monster original series episode. You know the one? It's like one of the first ones, and like there's this like lady on a planet, and the lady's an evil monster,
Yeah.
and she like puts her hands on people's faces and turns into this like big furry thing with like suckers on her hands, and just like drains all the salt from people's bodies, so they become like little
yeah.
raisins. And she's like, so scary.
Yeah.
Freaks me out to this day. Cool. So that was Star Trek.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
our bonus like content essentially.
Yeah.
Star Trek's great. The cave led us to that. Boldly going.
Boldly going, yeah. I think going back into like losing yourself in a big creative thing does involve going back into the cave, like back not like as a like depression metaphor, but back into like
Being introverted.
yeah, there's like an element of that. Like you have to do a lot of like. But I think every sort of creative project involves a period of like working alone and like loneliness and stuff.
Yeah.
You take that as part of the project. I think so one of the things we were talking about like looking back to like the book and everything was I'm not super familiar with this like these kind of archetypes, but I am really into Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. That's really interesting to me, and that's like that's archetypal. It's but like specifically about like myth, and people have adapted that to this is how this like relates to film plots and then like into book plots and stuff, and that to me is really interesting because it's like an emotional journey, and this is something that's to me makes a lot of sense because like we were talking about this before we started recording, but like I think if you're going to tell a story of something, you want it to be like anyone can go to Wikipedia and read a list of facts about like possessed, Napalm Death, Morbid Angel, like Cryptic Chef, whatever. But like, what were the emotions? Like, what was the emotional journey of that? Like,
yeah.
So one of the big things I wanted to do with the book was like, what's the as a like music journalist, like what's the story? And the story is like, the story is basically like, what the fuck? Why does this horror like? I love death metal very much, but like it is extremely horrible. And like the interesting thing to me was like, why the hell did this exist in the first place? And why the hell does this now? Why are we still doing it? Why do we still not just have like Cannibal Corpse doing Cannibal Corpse stuff, selling long sleeves and stuff, but why do we have like Gatecreeper and Tomb Mold, like doing a very retro version of that thing? Why is that like? Why is it still popular now? And like I think I did end up sort of veering away from like a strict version of this, but I wanted to like the hero's journey was very important for me to like plotting out stuff. So you like this is like the beginnings, and then this is where you find allies. That's sort of like people like John Peel we were talking about, like that's where they sort of come in. I like mapping the story of death metal onto like something like that and sort of working out where the kind of emotions are. I think that like makes a more compelling thing than like just a list of facts. Like it's like reading Genesis, where it's like this begat that, this begat that. Yeah. So yeah, I vibe with the cards, basically, is what I'm saying.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Vibe, it's official.
I just want to ask one question. I haven't read your book yet, and I'm going to read it, and I'm really interested. I always found it really interesting when you compared death metal to black metal, the fact that the originators of death metal, there was a lot of people of colour, whereas you don't really have that with black metal. Because obviously you've got people like Terence Hobbs and stuff like that. I wondered if you cover that kind of ground at anywhere, or if it came up when you were going through the narrative of death metal at all.
So like more people of colour being
from different like countries, like ethnicities, because obviously like black metal's just like Norway, Scandinavia, that kind of shit, you know.
Yeah, it's geographical, whereas death metal is global.
Yeah, I think that definitely is like an element of it. So I wonder if there's death metal. It's interesting. I spoke to Keith Carn Harris, who's a metal sociologist, among other things. He was sort of saying like it's difficult to sort of it's now very difficult to say like it appeals to this kind of crowd, because it is like global. It's like pretty much everywhere, all over the world, people are like drawn to metal in some way. I think there's So I don't know if now, like, obviously, the originators of black metal, to my knowledge, like much more like homogeneously white than death metal was. I think I think the reason for that probably is geographical. You're right. It was it took a while to get out of Norway to like.
Because it was tape trading, so it's gonna probably limit the reach, right? Just trying to think. It's an interesting question. Like I hadn't really, I have like so like for the book, like I did sort of cover like Terence Hobbs is in there. I did sort of talk a bit, because it's not very diverse. It's more diverse than black metal, but that's not really saying much. Really not.
Like, I talk about like Joe Bench. And Terence Hobbs and that sort of thing, like quite early on. And I interviewed Lionel Dawes, who wrote What Are You Doing Here, which is about race and death and extreme metal.
Amazing.
We talked about that. And she said, obviously, she found it very... she found death metal to be very conservative, like still.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It is.
It is in the main, I think. Like,
yeah.
Because my perception is that, for myself personally, I've always found it weird that you get into you hear a new black metal band, you're like, I've got to check they're not fucking racist.
Oh god, yeah.
Right? But death metal just seems way less.
But that's not necessarily the same as diversity.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying, but I do find it very interesting that does across the board seem to be the case. That death metal musicians, bands, people into that music are way less like Aryan. You know what I mean?
I always kind of thought that was largely due to the fact the way that the death metal scene splintered off, though. Like we had the Floridian scene, the Swedish scene. Like you had such very set, like geographical, like pockets that were like very different in their own way. But I felt like black metal was kind of like black metal's splintered off a fair bit now. Bands like.
I think inherently it's very ideological, black metal, and I think when you tie ideology to geography, you start to get nationalism.
That's where you get nationalism.
Yeah. So I think that's part of why it's that way, whereas death metal is more of like, it's more about like fantasy, the vibe, violence, which is not limited to race.
I think you're right. I think so one of the things I did talk about was like death metal's attitude to politics, which is like I want to like shout out to David Burke there, one of my pals.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's such a babe. And I interviewed him for the book. He was talking about like death metal's attitude to politics and how it sort of thinks itself like above and like beyond politics. Like politics is like just like beneath and outside its like driving force. It doesn't, because it's concerned. The big thing with death metal is it concerns death. It's existential. Like there's one of the reasons it's existed in that form is because it deals with the most fundamental thing that
So it
we all have going on.
transcends the everyday.
Yeah. So
like,
it doesn't really concern itself with like, I mean, like the most obvious predecessor was thrash, and thrash is very political. It sort of like it would, like discuss it's like policy based. It would discuss like specific, like it would discuss nuclear war. It would discuss racism. It would discuss like war in general. Like all of the Slayer songs are about war, and not all of them, but like a decent chunk of them. And if death metal does that, it doesn't really it will talk about people being blown up, right? It will talk about like.
I think it usually does it through the lens of fantasy or narrative, whereas with thrash it's more literal, right?
Yes,
it's like fuck the police. I don't know. It's like that. Whereas with death metal, it's more like an epic concept album about the brutality of like the year of 1914 or something. Yeah.
No, totally. So yeah, I guess that's like. We veered so wildly off from the like initial question, but I think that is like. Yeah, I guess that is like that's his attitude to politics really. Whereas like you're right. Black metal is very, very political and like engage. You can be. I can talk to like you can be involved in death metal and like be a death metal fan, and I would have no idea what your politics were. But I think black metal, like, you can decide not to engage, but then you are obviously like you're then taking
to an extent complicit.
Or like the side of like the dominant politics of that. Whereas like I have a complicated relationship to RABM, but I'm broadly on its side. Like that's my politics. I'm a big lefty. But I think like the thing I'm driving at is that you have to sort of, if you like black metal and you want to engage with black metal seriously, you have to like pick a side.
Yeah, you do.
Pick a side.
Yeah.
That's why we get people like Dawn Raid. It's why we have people like
Burzum.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a Burzum shirt, I just think you're an arsehole.
Yeah,
even if you're not racist.
Yeah.
What's the thing? Like he's still doing like he's. I don't know. I can't look inside Varg's brain and see if he's still a Nazi. I really would not like to do that.
I mean, have you seen his YouTube channel?
I have seen, like, last time I checked in, he was singing Bad Girls. I was like, okay, cool. That's a thing that's happening.
He says some stuff, man.
And the last video of his I watched was when he was reviewing Lords of Darkness.
Oh my god!
And he opened it with his rendition, and instead of saying girls just want to have fun, he was saying guys just want to have fun.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
No,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
so awful.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I saw his like doing karate, fucking martial arts, where he's like vaguely, he's not even mobile.
So pathetic.
It's just like it's the scraggliest, worst martial arts I've ever seen.
Shit.
It's just like a stick man attempting. It's like someone's like jerking his limbs in like Microsoft Paint. He's just like, yeah, I'm doing Krav Maga, and I'm like, are you?
It's so funny.
I
Are you that superior that like I just don't understand what you're doing?
think yeah. I mean, like we talk about like not funding people and stuff. Like I don't want to get too into cancel culture because it's just a mess. But like, if you give Varg money, he's gonna do like
He's gonna do some fucked up shit.
Yeah, he's not gonna do good
If
shit.
you give
with
a
it.
Nazi money, they're gonna do Nazi stuff with that money.
Yeah.
Even if they're not a Nazi, if they're like doing stuff that's not nice to other
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, there's like a lot of that money they've proven is funneled into far right festivals where they actively recruit to far right organisations, and a lot of it is just like a propaganda front. So I have a problem with it personally, but hey, I'm not everybody. Everyone's different.
I have a pretty big problem with that. That's
I don't like Nazis. I think that's weirdly controversial these days.
Yeah. Oh man, hope I don't get cancelled by the Nazis. That'd be real bad.
I have been once. It was interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of my friends in uni said something. She and a friend got involved in a Twitter thing, and they ended up getting a hate piece written on them by the Daily Stormer, which I think is like
Oh, damn.
That's
one
such
of
a good
I know, that's
endorsement for being a
fuck
good
as fuck,
person.
I would like bring that out on like first dates.
Mate,
like,
I would pay
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Durstoma to write a hate piece about me. They should do like the opposite of like a verified red check. It's got like a hammer and a sickle.
Yeah, I just thought that was like the coolest. I'm sure it's like scary and probably really dangerous.
Oh, it's
but,
fucking
like,
mess. You've
yeah.
heard about Colfax, right? There's like a list of interracial relationships.
oh god,
And
yeah.
then, and then they have like a thing is like, oh, you can. I'm not going to say it. It's terrible. Like they have instructions of what to do if you find the people who are like in those relationships. It's really messed up.
I'd love to see a motherfucker try.
I don't want to see anyone try.
Yeah,
I'd rather
yeah.
just be left alone. Thank you very much.
You don't want to be perceived by Nazis.
I don't want to be in any way like known or. I'd rather they just didn't. Yeah.
Nazi punks fuck off.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nazi punks fuck off.
If you
Yeah.
were chill, there wouldn't be a song called Nazi punks fuck off.
Exactly.
I know.
It's like if you
chill.
yeah. There's no like so like like socialist punks fuck off is not a song. Like maybe a reason for that. Like
The thing that I think comes up a lot with like any kind of like leftist socialist politics, it's like in our ideal world there is still a space for them. All they have to do is learn to play with others. You know what I mean? That's
Well, I think it depends what your ideology is. If your ideology is, I think a significant portion of the population should die, I don't think there should be a space for those people.
No, but I think like obviously if they understand the error of their ways is the subtext.
But then they wouldn't be Nazis anymore.
Yeah.
So there's no
and
room for
suddenly
Nazis.
They weren't Nazis anymore.
Yeah, 'cause that's what being a Nazi is really. When you get down to it.
It just reminds me of that meme. It was, I think it was probably an Onion article. That someone with a swastika tattoo, and it was just like, I ran out of money before I could do my second session for my anti-Nazi tattoo.
He ran out of red, so we couldn't go
Yeah.
through it. Yeah.
Oh God. What was it? Was it that? Was it Always Sunny in Philadelphia? It was like I didn't know how it would be perceived. And it's just like.
Oh my god! I saw I used to do a sales job, and someone had like a nice company had like a Wimble logo, and it's like, oh buddy, no one told you what that looks like. I saw the Dead Kennedys the other day, and they had like the like swastika crossed out like Nazi punks fuck off shirt. It's like that's sick, and like, but then like I always think like if I was wearing like a satchel with like a strap on, like
Oh yeah, it could accidentally.
yeah. I can see like 90 ways that like I'm gonna get punched wearing this shirt, and I'm trying not to get punched by like.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually tried to commission an artist to make an anti-Nazi piece of art that was like very gory and brutal and involved like a smashed swastika, and he was like, I can't do it. And like they specialize in people being like decapitated and their organs being pulled out, and he was like, I can't do that. It's too much.
It was too edgy.
Yeah, it was literally too edgy.
I think well that's the thing. That's the tension between like, because we can talk about like zombies ripping people apart, but then there's like real politics and stuff.
And it's just that people are like that's too
yeah.
much. But
It
then
gives
they
you
can
the
sing about World War II, but then when it's like literally like, oh, I don't like that, like let's do an image of that being destroyed, that's somehow taboo. It's really interesting. It's like that tension. There's always that political tension there, even though it does, I think death metal generally does transcend politics, but like the everyday politics, but I think everything is inherently political. That's my personal view.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, like we say that, and then we have Bolt Thrower, who were like from
Exactly.
They
They literally beat up Nazis, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
why I love them so much.
love that.
Really good
Yeah.
music, really good artwork,
We
and
love
they don't
that
like
vibe.
Nazis.
Them and
Yeah.
Immolation. It was them and Immolation.
Yeah.
They got baseball bats.
I love
It was
Immolation.
So tight, man.
They'd be on my Bolt Thrower and Immolation on my Rushmore for sure.
Yeah.
Immolation, I have to say, were lovely to interview.
Oh really?
Very, very, very
I
good.
Was it
love
Ross?
them.
Ross the boss.
Yeah, it was.
Or Bob, was it?
Bob was shit, I can't remember names. I'm so bad, man. Like I'm
You got
like,
name blindness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a thing. Yeah.
Honestly, I get it too. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
There were like I want to say like 32 interviews for the book, and
That's
like,
a lot.
Yeah. Brain melty, brain hurty. I also haven't thought about this for ages, which is the weird thing. Like we're right at the end of the like press run for it.
So you've put it away in your head.
Yeah, it's like I've like locked it away now.
It's in the cave.
Yeah, it is in the cave. Yeah, it's in the old cave. Like
It's
and
like
now-
a cave system. You keep coming out
Yeah,
and
yeah,
back
yeah,
in,
yeah. I feel like the next cave I'm going to go to, I'm going to know the way around that cave a little bit better. Yeah, that's a good metaphor, actually. I like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
there you go.
I've been
the
playing a lot
story.
of New Zelda, and I'm like well into caves.
Oh my god, the
my
caves
God.
freak me out. The
Yeah.
depths are so scary.
The depths are really scary.
So I won't go in. I went in once. Actually, yesterday I actually went in on a dragon, and like you can ride the dragon.
Didn't know you could do that.
You can
Oh
ride
my
the dragon,
god.
and I was like, I'm just gonna stay on the dragon, and it
That's
went
some
into the
Dio
chasm,
shit.
and I was like, it was
What?
like dark, and it just went under and just it came up on the other side of the map, and I was like, guess I'm here now. Yeah, it's so cool, and you can like pick up its scales. If you shoot it, you can pick up more stuff. It's so cool. I have no idea what any of the stuff does. That I was like harvesting this dragon.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This is I honestly like I'm not a big gamer, but I played Zelda when I was a kid.
Oh, it's my favorite game. Yeah.
I think like Breath of the Wild was like this is my favorite
Oh,
game.
and now this.
Now this, yeah.
This is like the prodigal son of Breath of the Wild. It's
God.
so good.
I think this is the most fun I've ever had playing a video game.
Same. Yeah, I like literally. I'm just like, why am I outside? I could be at home playing Zelda. I keep saying.
My God, I had the first time in ages the other day. I was like, literally like I think like the week it came out, I was playing it and playing it, and I was like, why is it light outside? Because it was
The time
4:30 in the
just
morning.
goes. My eyeballs were aching for days. Yeah.
Like I had to go to fucking work.
Have you seen the engineering feats people are doing on there? People do some mental stuff.
Yeah, I don't have an engineering background at all.
Mine
so
are so sloppy. Like the green goo is just
yeah,
like.
yeah.
It's very wonky.
Yeah, it's not dignified. I've not been like dignified playing this game at all.
I get really stressed. Like I like the chill parts of the game, and then the boss
Yeah,
battles happen.
yeah.
I'm just like, yeah.
I used to like. There's a lot of joy in like. I got like killed by a 3-headed dragon the other day. Like I sort of.
There's
like,
a three-headed dragon.
Do you want me to talk spoilers or?
I don't know. I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's like flying around near the mountains, right? So I saw it flying around. I was like, I'm not going to go over there. I'm just going to go the
Yeah.
other way.
So to be fair, like there may well be one. I tried not to go on the internet too much for it. Do you want me to talk about it, or shall I leave that as a?
Tell me, because I'll probably end up having to Google how to kill it anyway.
So I think this is like a callback to the very first Zelda game. I like the first. I think, and there might be a Zelda fan in the comments who's like, for fuck's sake, that's wrong. And it's maybe true, but I think the very first boss of the very first Zelda's game is like a 3-headed dragon. I think they brought it back.
Oh, I think I can see the sprite in my
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Because it has this like wide body.
Yeah. And there's a Gleerock. I'm not sure how you do it, but it's just on a bridge. I like walked up to it all smug, being like, I'll have a bit
I
of a
could
go.
take this.
And it just dead. Just
There's
shot
so
me.
many, like, because
Yeah.
in Breath of the Wild, the bosses were really easy, except the Linnells.
Yeah.
I love all the Lionel Richie memes about those guys.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them yet in this game, but this game, the bosses are way harder. I accidentally did one of the dungeons. I just got pulled into it. I was like, well, I guess I'm here. I guess I'll do it.
Which one?
The boat temple.
Oh, the boat one's so much fun. It's the only one I've done.
It was so hard.
So I also like. It's a platforming game now. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
like we're
like,
doing platforms.
I was like, what? I just have to jump on these boats?
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
it's
Wee.
beautiful. And then the boss was like, it's so stressful. I was
Yeah,
like yelling.
Is that the big flying?
The big flying thing, I was like
Oh, that
shooting it.
Fucking man.
It was so intense.
I ain't playing this game, but I was watching you do that, and I was like, "This is wild. It's
Yeah.
crazy looking."
It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful boss battle.
It really is.
It's
Yeah.
It's like being in a
Gorgeous.
Ghibli film.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Big, like,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. The design is so fucking
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And I love all the ascension is so useful because of the free level game. And like exploring, I love exploring the sky, but the moment I get in the chasms, I'm just like, oh, this is horrible.
Yeah.
And the wells, yeah.
The one thing I really do like about the depths is that like, and maybe I'm just playing the game wrong, but it genuinely every time I go in there, it feels like I'm not meant to be there. Like
Yes, yeah, I feel that. And like you find stuff and you're like, should I have this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like in a game because it's obviously like a lot of it. Or like I can't look inside their brains, but like it feels to me like this one was inspired by people doing shit they weren't meant to do in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Like people were like making minecarts fly and stuff.
Oh,
And
so cool. I've seen people make like turrets that could like you could drive
Yeah,
them and it
yeah,
just goes,
yeah.
yeah.
but like playing a game that's influenced by people playing a game wrong and then playing that game wrong feels very fun and
It's
transgressive.
so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I love how free the game is.
Yeah,
I was talking to
yeah.
someone, they were like, oh, I don't like that. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, but I love that.
Yeah,
you have like
yeah,
ultimate
yeah.
freedom. That's what I loved about Ocarina. Was like riding around Hyrule Field, which was tiny.
Yeah.
But I still felt like Xena.
Because the kid was like,
I was like, whoa, I have like the whole world at my fingertips. I could go to
yeah.
Zora's Domain or like, but now it's just like, well, I could spend an hour going to like this place like halfway across the map, which is such a good feeling.
And you know what? Now the material conditions of society are eroding. The only way you have any kind of hope in life is to play the new Zelda game.
Yeah, like you can get a house in a Zelda game. If you grind, you can get it. Yeah. I love how you go to like your old house and Zelda's living there like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
Guess she moved in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that imply they're living together?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I need to check the bed.
Whoa.
Yes, I think I read a thing about this. I think there's only one bed there, so that maybe implies that they're.
That she kicked him out. She's like, well, I'm moving in and you're moving out. Yeah. I don't know. It's really strange. The actual storyline of this one is good too because the last one annoyed me. And Zelda's voice annoys me. The voice acting is like.
Yeah. Is it different now? I
think it's the same actor, but I think she's less.
Zeldish.
There's something very like because she to me was always like a really strong character, but her voice is really weak and like simpering, and I'm like, but you're fucking Zelda.
Yeah.
Why are you like be Zelda?
Yeah. I think they make a big point of establishing her
Insecurity.
yeah, but also like agency and like her passions like really early on.
I like that she's studious and that she's
Yeah,
like really
yeah.
into the history and stuff. I think that's really cool that they didn't just like go for the whole like Princess Peach. Oh no, like I'm in
no,
distress.
it's happened again.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I keep like accidentally being attacked.
Can you send Mario up? Got it, it's happening again.
Oh,
yeah. No, totally.
Yeah. It's a beautiful game. Oh, can't wait to go home and play more.
Yeah. I'm doing like this weekend. I'm not doing it. I'm doing other nerd stuff. So like I just need to have like a bit of a screen break from everything. But yeah,
Sorry.
it's a like.
Do you remember when we went on DeviantArt and we were looking at all those pictures of Bowser with a huge cock?
What? Was this with me or with Floyd?
With all of us, we were doing it.
In case my mum is listening, I did not do that.
I'm really sorry.
I would never do such a thing.
I deeply apologise to T's mum here. I don't remember that. I think I must have blanked that out because does it have spikes on it? Was it like a turtle? Was it like a
now
shell?
I'm thinking about it.
With like, how does that? How much damage do you take?
Look, we got to look through the Discord. There was a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember the last episode we did. We discovered the A Bug's Life flashlight from the caterpillar.
I fucking forgot about that.
Tiny.
Did that come out around the same time as Cat Decapitation's new album?
That's how it came out. Honestly,
We're reviewing
we were reviewing
Decapitation.
Terrasite, which
Yeah.
is fucking amazing.
Oh,
that
I
album.
love Terrasite.
And yeah, we were talking about the obvious Bug's Life comparisons, and then somehow managed to find an image of.
Yeah, Sheb googled Bug's Life, and literally like 10 tiles down, there's a fucking flashlight of the caterpillar in Bug's Life, and it's like its mouth is slightly open. It's literally. It's really disturbing. It's got like blushing as well, which I hate.
Oh wow! Oh,
I hate it when
God,
it's like
I can
they were like,
see it.
oh, they're blushing because
that's like unlocked like a core memory in my brain of like
Oh.
seeing the Bug's Life when I was a wee child.
I loved A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Strong like pro union message in Bug's Life.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And ants. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were really good bug films in the 90s. What happened to the bug?
Yeah, what happened to
genre?
bug films? Bring them back.
Yeah, we had
Ants.
holes and bugs.
Yeah.
B movie. Don't forget B movie.
B movie.
Barry B. Benson.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Well, T, thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, no
It's
worries,
been a
thank
pleasure
you.
having you.
I
Is
was
there
really, really, really.
any
fun. It's
final
fantastic.
remarks about?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, the book's out. It's you can buy it online. I'm trying to find. It's weird. It's like because it's published as part of like the 33 and Third series. I don't know if it's in like Amazon and stuff. I always want to push people towards indie. So if you find an indie selling it, like definitely buy it from there.
Rough
yeah.
Trade East have it at the moment.
Yeah.
If you want to find a link, I'll put it in the description.
Sweet, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah,
Yeah,
if you want death metal, then please do buy my book. That'll be really chill. But yeah, thank you so much. It was really, really great.
Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Like and subscribe.
Peace out.